We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kern High Network Football live from Independence High School as the Independence Falcons host the Stockdale Mustangs. I'm Kenny Calvin, joined by my former coach, Rick Van Horn, and Dr. Julian Wilson on producer-director duties. I want to thank everybody in the Independence Administration as well as our staff at the Kern High School District and the Kern High Network. I also want to thank our Valley Strong Credit Union sponsor. Beautiful weather, finally starting to feel like the fall. Coach Van Horn.
Yes, it is. What is it, about 98 tonight? Well, it started today, but now we're up high, so it's about 88 degrees up here. Awful nice.
Awful nice, Coach. So we got an 0-3 Independence team, very tough. They played some tough opponents, tough competition. We got a Stockdale team that's 1-0. Faced the Ridgeview team a couple of weeks ago, won 27-7, but been off for a week and now coming back with a fresh start. What do we expect tonight?
Yeah, we really don't know yet because we've seen, you and I did Ridgeview, and we've seen they're kind of suffering a down year, so we really don't know what to expect out of Stockdale. We do know that they beat them 27-3, so that was a pretty sound beating there. But Independence we've seen before, and we know that it all starts with their quarterback, Landon Denmark. He is he's about 60% of their offense. But, we haven't seen Evan Peaker, their tailback, really get off yet, and he's due because he's one of the better running backs in town.
Evan Peaker averaging about 82 yards per game, and in a high school season where you're not getting a lot of offensive output, that's very solid. We've seen them play some solid football, but they just haven't had an opportunity to do a whole lot on the offensive side of the football.
So what happens when you're behind, you end up having to throw the ball a little bit more than you want to, and Evan Peaker's both their leading rusher and their second leading receiver. So good all-around player. Like I said, returning all area from last year and just a solid player.
Stockdale lost a couple of premier pieces to their offense last year as Jacob Jones leaves from there and heads over to Frontier. But they have Charles, who's averaging 43 yards on the ground. I'm anxious to see what style of play Stockdale is going to come forth with after the last few years of having young running backs be so successful. So I'm excited to see what they're going to bring from an offensive standpoint and how balanced they're going to be as they move forward.
Yeah, we saw them last spring against, I believe it was Centennial, and they ran kind of that flex bone option, much like West High does. This year it looks like that just after that first game, they put the ball up 27 times. So that's something they didn't do in the spring. So if they do that, it's all going to start with Jordan Galagos, the quarterback. He's a junior who was 13 for 27 for 123 yards last game. Bad thing is he threw 3 picks and 0 touchdowns.
Wow, so it's definitely going to be an interesting matchup. You got an 0-3 Independence team that had a phenomenal spring, and had the confidence coming into the fall as probably one of the best teams in the league. This is a non-league game, so we'll see how well they match up as they take on the Stockdale Mustangs. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn, Dr. Julian Wilson on producer-director duties. We are live from Independence High School as they host the Mustangs. So I'm excited. Second time being able to cover Coach Shahable and his unit. First time being able to watch the Stockdale Mustangs. I know they're anxious to get going.
Yeah, they are. And I haven't been out here to the Independence in quite a while. I don't know if you have either. But not a bad place. We're out here in the country, though.
Absolutely.
But nice stadium, nice atmosphere. Got a pretty good home crowd. it's still filing in. So, in fact, when I pulled in, the line went, it was about 100 yards, went all the way back to the gym.
Well, I can't be here at an Independence High football game and not shout out some of the most fantastic Independence High football veterans, one being my younger cousin, DJ Reed, son of Coach Reed. Had a fantastic opportunity in the NFL over the last year and a half. And also one of my guys that I mentored, Dale Pearson, all-time sack leader over at Iowa State. Now he's selling houses, making $1 million a month. So I'm bragging on his sales. So, excited to see how this new group of Independence Falcons are going to carry that legacy forward for those two beasts.
That's right. That's right.
Stockdale has decided to take the kick. Independence will be on defense, and we're off, ladies and gentlemen. The ball will be taken at the 11-yard line. Nice blocking setup. And he's out across the 45, across the 50, and it's going to be 1st and 10 for Stockdale, but we do have some laundry at about the 34-yard line.
That looked like Brendan Arzubal. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Arzubal. He's also their leading rusher, so he's used to carrying that rock.
And it never fails, Coach. Soon as we get our broadcast going, all of my employees start calling. Hey, I'm on the air, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we are live at Independence High School. It'll be 1st and 10 for Stockdale after the march-off from the 23-yard line. And definitely a lot of history to be talked about on the Stockdale side of the football, one of our favorite things to do. We have the coaching staff of Stockdale right to our left, so we'll apologize now for some language. Trips left. Pistol formation for Stockdale, and they go with that jet sweep, and that's going around the left side. Oh, and a nice gain on 1st down.
And it looks like we got a flag down. It's going to be a hold against Stockdale. Looks like Stockdale might have junked that that flex bone option stuff they were running in the spring, and they went to more of a spread. 3-by-1 there. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right in shotgun.
And it's so interesting to see how coaches approach running the football in different ways. You talked about them being in flex bone. Now they go shotgun spread, and they go right back into that tight trip set from the left hash. Same play right back at you. About a 7-yard gain on the play out to the 19-yard line, where it'll be about 2nd and 14 for the Mustangs.
That looked like Leon on that carry. Leon mostly used as a receiver, but looks like he's going to be carrying the ball, some fly sweeps, maybe a reverse here or there.
One thing Independence wants to do early is try to figure out a way to get them off the field and work on that momentum. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, and you're going to see their two leading tacklers, Damian Garcia and Jay Blackett. So they're going to be pretty active tonight.
30 even front for Independence. Out into the flat and tackled immediately.
Looked like number 11 there.
Amazing tackle by Trey Franklin.
Kind of one of the world, not quite as bad as South High, but we got maroon jerseys with silver numbers, so they stand out a little bit better than the light blue with silver.
Yeah, it's still pretty tough to me, so I'll be counting on your glasses, Coach. 3rd and long for the Mustangs. 10:09 to play in the first quarter. Live from Independence High School, Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn on the Kern High Network. Shotgun double set.
Well, their guy here in passing downs is Adrian Medina.
Now they go with that flood route, and a nice ball caught at the 35-yard line, and that's going to be enough for the 1st down. Amazing job rolling left. And we call it a flood route because they're basically loading that side of the field with something shallow, something deep. And a great ball. Got just enough on
I
it,
know,
Coach.
it looked like Independence might have had a chance there.
Yeah, he had to get that over the defensive back. RPO inside zone run. And that's going to be about a 4-yard gain inside.
Yeah, these are two teams. Of course, they're in different leagues and different divisions. Stockdale in the quote-unquote power league, Southwest Yosemite League, and Independence in the Southwest Yosemite League in a D3 league there.
Aaron Charles with the carry. The previous carry, I should say. On that carry, Coach, it looks like that was number 21, Anthony Estrada.
Well, that was Ansabo, I think, number 31.
Okay.
Who's kind of their bell cow. At least he was the first game. But the good thing, if you're looking at their stats, they like to spread the ball around. They've got about 4 or 5 guys carrying the ball. They've got about 4 or 5 guys catching the ball. So they're not dependent on one guy.
Beautiful to see. Shotgun pistol formation against a 2-deep safety look for Independence. And now we got a nice throw outside and a great move on the hitch. And he makes one miss, makes another miss. He's crossed the 30. And if he has wheels, he can get there. Still on his feet, down to the 10, down to the 5. Amazing effort after contact.
That's Adrian Medina, who had 8 catches the first game.
Amazing route. He ran somewhat of a skinny, quick slant and wheeled it back outside, made the initial corner miss, made the safety and the linebacker miss, and then carried about 5 other people 15 yards.
Yeah.
First and goal for the Mustangs.
Just kind of made that slant move and kind of geared it down a little bit, gave the quarterback both numbers. So he's a big wide target, made a good catch, spun it outside, and got big yardage.
It's almost like they planned to do it that way, Coach. It was kind of a slower slant.
Yeah. Well, he's got to let things happen. You know, you got to.
Option is pitched outside, and that's strung out very well.
When you run in that RPO, the receivers can't be in a big hurry because they're going to get to where they need to be a little too fast because, remember, the quarterback's got to make a play-action fake, read it, pull it out, and then get it there.
I saw some amazing routes last night in that Buccaneer and Cowboys game.
Yeah.
I saw some drops as well. We won't go there, though. Shotgun pistol formation, double set, and they got that motion again. They're going to go with that power. Oh, an amazing job by the defensive line and linebackers getting some penetration. And that's going to be stopped for a short gain.
No gain on play. Tackle by Shane Black. 3rd down.
Shane Brock on the tackle. Stockdale looking very good in this first drive, and now they go back into that tight wing T formation that you talked about,
double
Coach.
wing there.
And they are in, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Mustangs on a power play. Easy money.
Yeah, good play on the goal line. You're pulling everybody in the house on that to the right side, and you just make a little pitch to that wing, and the quarterback actually turns up and one of the lead blockers.
You know, all through that drive, Coach, it kind of seemed like Independence defense was playing bend, don't break, and staying over top of everything, and one missed tackle, and you got a 50-yard quick slant / hitch, curl, whatever that was, down inside the goal line.
Always good to get a chunk play. That's what we call a chunk play, where you're getting 20 or more yards to help that, you know. But to Stockdale's credit, you know, we saw a spread, we saw a fly, we saw some RPO, we saw some double wing down here, so they're mixing it up.
Absolutely. You know, I guess that's the benefit as the kick is good. You know, we talked right through that. But Stockdale's up 7-0. But the benefit of being that balance, like you said, we saw a roll left flood play. We saw RPO inside read. We saw Powers with the jet sweep. You can't really key on an offense that's giving you that much. You know, and it was a great offensive display by Stockdale coaching staff in that first drive.
Yeah.
77-yard drive capped off by a 3-yard touchdown.
So the Mustangs up 7-0.
Brandon Arzbal handed off by number
Independence Falcons, first opportunity on offense. We'll see what Coach Tyler Shahable can draw up. He was a pretty phenomenal quarterback as a high school student athlete. If you're not familiar with his story, he was injured in an ATV accident over on the coast. Had huge support, worked himself back into a positive mind state and came back out here to his alma mater to coach these young men. Hats off to Coach Shahable.
Stockdale with the onside kick, trying to put it in there. Little early. We don't really know how Independence is going to match up against their defense. You usually want to pull that with you're up 14. And then you want to, but
I'm confused as to what happened right there, Coach.
Offsides on.
Okay. So
Well,
we got him backed up. That's going to be taken at the 15-yard line. Stockdale doing an amazing job on pursuit and a great job covering the kick, and that's going to be down at the 13-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Independence.
Looked like DeMonte Moulton for Independence. Senior wide receiver.
So
all right, well, we do know about Landon Denmark that he can throw the ball, but he's going to make some plays with his legs. I guarantee it.
Now, we saw some promising drives when we covered Independence a few weeks ago versus South High. Now they're coming out in that trips open set. And they go with that inside zone read for a gain of a couple. They actually had some very promising drives in that game that we saw. But ultimately it was just the athletes of South High that got them up through in that game. We'll see what they come out with. Hopefully they can move the chains because Stockdale looked very well in that first drive. You want to punt right back to him.
And we were talking about Peaker running tailback. Now they've got Rico in there, number 3, who's a little smaller, but looks like he's a little quicker.
Oh, and they tried to go with that quick slant. Now Denmark making him play with his legs, just like you said, Coach, and that's going to be a first down.
That's got the first down. Yeah. He's an athlete playing quarterback. At the next level, he'll probably might be a wide receiver, might be a DB, safety type. Don't know how much future he has at the next level at quarterback, but smart by Coach Shahable is, hey, I want my best athlete touching the ball every play.
Absolutely. We saw that as well in the Shafter game when Tyson Dozier went down and they had to shuffle some guys in. Sometimes you want the best athlete available playing that position. Nonetheless, it's 1st and 10 for Independence. Motion. And they're going with the counter tray, and that's sniffed out very well by the defensive end. Great job by the Stockdale defensive line. Stopping the counter.
Yeah, Coach doesn't want to totally junk the run. He wants to stay balanced. Peaker still here on the sideline next to Coach over here. Looks like he's chomping at the bit.
Yeah, between Peaker and Denmark, they average about 200 yards per game collectively from a total offense perspective. So to not see him out here, you got to also wonder how healthy is he. Shotgun double set for Denmark. He's throwing that deep out, and that's going to be high and incomplete, bringing up a 3rd and 10. And that's what you don't want if you're an Independence Falcon offense.
Yeah. He kind of threw that out route. You don't want to throw an out route late like that. He dropped back, looked around, came back almost as a second option. But by that time, an out route.
Oh, yeah.
You throw it late, it's a pick 6 the other way.
I didn't have too many pick 6s in my career, but that's the one you want right there. Flex bone look for Independence, and now they're going with the end around, and and it looked like he might be gone, ladies and gentlemen, but we got a flag in the backfield. Very nicely done from the setup perspective, but we got to wonder what happened inside, and that's going to be a hold on Independence, nullifying the 20-yard run and first down. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 20 after that's marched off.
Yeah, Rico showing some speed on the outside.
Very nice. No, so, Coach, we got to send an APB out for some scores. We do know that there'll be some games that aren't taking place. We know the Bakersfield Drillers are off for 2 weeks for whatever reason. We haven't got any details. My daughter said there was a whole bunch of people that didn't show up to English class, so I'm assuming it's COVID on that side. Also, some other news in the driller land that, we may touch on later. But trips open, pistol formation set for Independence. Oh, and you got pressure in the backfield, and Denmark is going. One man to beat to get to the first down, and he might just be short, Coach.
I think he's short. I think he's short.
Yeah, and that's a play where if you're a coach, you're screaming for him to get the first down, because now you got 4th and about 2 from your own 40. So I'm not sure if you want to go for that.
So what happens on that is Stockdale was in man coverage. They're probably blitzing, send an extra guy, got man coverage. And when you get man coverage and you give somebody like Lamar Jackson man coverage and he's able to run now, all the DBs have their backs to him, that's what happens. Not that he's Lamar Jackson. He's Landon Denmark.
Pistol formation, Independence. Oh, and we got movement, and they fall for it. Oh, I always say it every week. You wonder why coaches like me and Coach Van Horn got gray whiskers popping out all over the place. It's because of plays like that on defense. 4th and short, defensive line jumps offside, and that's going to be a free first down for the Independence Falcons. I even got the gray whiskers coming out my wrist now, Coach. That's how stressed out I've been as a coach. 1st and 10 for Independence. They probably weren't going to run a play right there.
Well, we'll never know.
Zone read, and that's
Peaker there in the game, or his first carry.
Great job by Bradley Taylor, outside linebacker. Didn't lose any ground, feeling like a madman for the stop. Bringing up 2nd and 10.
Stockdale's got a little different look than we saw in the spring. When we saw them in the spring, they passed the eye test when you saw them on the field. But it didn't translate to performance. These guys, a little smaller, a little faster.
A little confusion back there.
And they're kind of flying around.
Oh, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, Coach. You look out there, it's not a whole lot of 6'5" and 4'5s.
Not a lot of D1 guys running around out there, but they're playing better as a unit than I thought they did in the spring.
Absolutely.
And we've only seen them for a half a quarter.
Oh, but definitely playing quality football. You're seeing 11 hats to the football. Great defensive line play through the first quarter with 3:53 remaining to play. But now we got a 3rd and 10, and it's a trips open set, pistol formation for Denmark. And here's where he likes to scramble if they're in that man coverage. And it looks like they're walking down into it, Coach.
Yep. They're going to bring a guy off the edge there. Got a good
quick
match
screen
up there. Moten's going to be short. He's going to bring up 4th and 5.
And now at midfield, you got to wonder if they're just going to leave the offense out there. And when you're 0-3, how much punting are you going to do?
Yeah.
4th and 5, and Denmark is still on the field, so that means Independence is going for it. And one thing you know about Coach Hobble is that he is tough. He is not going to back down. He's definitely going to try to take some chances.
Yeah.
He's not going to be satisfied with just being 0-3 and punting the football. So, shotgun double set.
I think you're going to see him. They're going to get the play off here.
2:47 remaining to play, and we got a timeout. Interesting to see who called that, and that's going to be an Independence timeout, which really makes you feel like they're going to go for it after the break.
You're not going to burn 2 timeouts in a row and one of them being on that long count. We do have a couple scores. Wasco 14, North High 6, South High 7, Golden Valley 0. That's first quarter action in both those games.
Little backyard rivalry right there.
You know what, Coach? I don't know what's going on out there in Wasco, but they got something out there. They put it on South High last week. They're up by on North this week.
Wow. You know, traditionally, Wasco has had some very good football programs. They've won some Valley championships. I want to say a few years ago they actually played very well and got to the championship. I can't remember if they won it. But, hey, Coach, my wife is from Wasco. She's pretty tough.
Well, you know, and before, like you said, they were doing that against the Shafters, Delanos, and those guys. But now they're dipping their toes to our pool over here, beating the South and beating the North.
Absolutely. That South High score when that came in last week was very surprising. But nonetheless, we are here at Independence High School. Independence showed some promise in a couple of plays, had some penalties, bring something back. They had a end around play that went for about 20 yards, had that called back on a hold. And now you punt to a very balanced Stockdale team. So let's see if that consistency can pay off on the second drive with 2:39 remaining to play in the first quarter. Well, we have a quick chat on the sideline. That'll give us time to thank the Independence staff and their administration, as well as our Kern High Network staff and Stan Green. Stan the Man was the quarterback on that 1988 national championship at BC, and I went to pick up my credentials this morning, and I got a good look at that trophy, Coach. It was beautiful, man. I was one ranking away from that also glorious #1 national ranking, man. #2 in the nation twice. How about that? First and 10 for the Mustangs. Shotgun double set, and they go with that motion again, and that's going to be that power sweep. And nice blocking outside. Ooh, nice pancake outside.
And Independence doing a good job of stretching that edge. They didn't really set it and turn it back, but what they did was played that red line, and you know all about that red line. It's just making that running back go lateral where he can't get upfield.
Absolutely. Very good job by the back being patient to try to get something out of it because he was strung out very well, and he ends up getting 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. Now they go with that RPO fake, and that's covered deep. Oh, and they lets it fly. It's going to be incomplete. Great coverage outside. Curtis Franklin doing a great job out here on the island, not giving up, staying attached. It's one thing that used to drive me crazy, Coach, when quarterbacks start scrambling and my DBs lose attachment. Like, what are you doing? You're 30 yards down the field. You're not going to make the tackle. Right. Stay attached to your man.
That's right. That's right. They start watching the ball game.
Right. 3rd and 6 for the Stockdale Mustangs. Can't talk about the Mustangs without talking about some of their pedigree and guys like Corey Hall, all-pro safety in the NFL. David Carr was pretty good, too. Got a nice big check.
Yeah. He wasn't bad.
Trips open set, and that's going to be a timeout. We'll take a quick break and be right back with more Kern High Network football right after this. Welcome back to Kern High Network Football, live from Independence High School. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn, Dr. Julian Wilson on producer-director duties. Stockdale up 7 over Independence.
Got a big play here, 3rd and about 6 for Stockdale.
Oh, and we got a little confusion. We got a baby whistle and then a couple other whistles. That's going to be false start on Stockdale. 2 guys moving at the same time.
False start, Stockdale.
It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 11 for Stockdale. If you're Stockdale, you don't want to avoid these kind of situations where you're having to throw the ball rather than throw the ball when you want to. Big difference.
All right, and they're marching that back. We'll get you that down and distance. That's going to be 3rd and 12 for Independence in that pistol shotgun formation. And they motion all the way to trips. And now it looks like that flood look again, and it's covered very well this time. Now he's going to try to get out of there, but that's going to be contained, and we got a flag in the backfield as well. And great job by the Independence defense top to bottom.
Probably a hold on Stockdale that Independence might decline. That will bring about a 4th and 8, it looks like. Yep. All right, they might decline this, force the punt.
And it is definitely a great job by the Independence defense, Coach.
Exactly what you called the flood route, but if you notice, they had 2 guys in the same, they were 1 yard apart, so not real good spacing for Stockdale there, and it's terrible for the quarterback because he's looking out there. He's got 2 guys a yard apart and 1 defender covering them both.
I'm going to tell you what I loved about it, Coach, that outside linebacker does what so many forget to do. He actually got a jam on the receiver. I was showing my wife, somebody in bump and run coverage getting burnt last night because you're in bump and you're not touching the guy. Why are you in bump if you're not going to touch the guy? The whole purpose of being in bump and run coverage is to reroute the receiver and affect timing, and that's exactly what happened. So great job by that outside backer for Independence. And, I talk to my wife about football. She don't be listening, but I still be talking. 1 minute left to play in the first quarter. Stockdale holding on to a 7-0 lead, but it'll be 1st and 10 for Independence. Great job by that defense, Coach.
Yeah, it was. Good stance by Independence, keeping the ball game close, 7-zip. They did move the ball that first series, had their big play called back. But the capabilities there, this Rico that they started the game with is a good changeup to Peaker. Peaker's more of a power back. Rico, a little bit more speed.
Absolutely, and Peaker's the kind of back that he takes so much punishment, as he gets the handoff right here and he gives some punishment.
Yeah.
It's such a load. But when you're that kind of physical runner, you incur a lot of injury.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is they have both of them on the field. So, rather than rotating them off, is put Rico somewhere else. Put him off the wing. Put him somewhere where you can get him the ball, and he can do his thing.
Absolutely, and that's the benefit of having a former quarterback as the play caller and Coach Shahabel, because he knows how to get guys going and put them in places to be successful.
Right. So many times we see teams that, they substitute a playmaker for a playmaker instead of having both on the field.
Right. I think that's very stubborn. Great penetration by the defensive line of Stockdale High School. And I got to get a number on that kid because that was an amazing job getting some penetration. And that looked like number 42, Matthew Hernandez, the senior linebacker. And that is going to be the end of the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen, with Independence trailing Stockdale 7-0. We'll be right back after the break with more Kern High Network football. Welcome back to Kern High Network Football. Stockdale leading 7 over Independence Falcons, who have yet to score but have moved the ball somewhat, but now is a big third down opportunity with the 3rd and 6. Oh, and you got a nice combo route. He has somebody open. Oh, and that's almost an amazing play of the week. One-hand interception, but it's dropped. He almost pulled the Odell Beckham with the 3 fingers. Nonetheless, but it's dropped.
Yeah, Trey Franklin there for Stockdale. Almost made a great catch. Still got credit for the knockdown, though.
Amazing coverage. And if he had caught that, boy.
Looked like he's getting a rebound in basketball there.
Man, I was sending that straight to ESPN when we got off. Nonetheless, great stop by the Stockdale defense, and it's going to be 4th and 6 for Independence, and they just can't find a way to get over the hump and get those sticks moving. And this is going to be an okay kick, but amazing bounce. And, if he beats that man, he might be out of here. Across the 30. Fortunate bounce, and he's taken out at the 25-yard line. And we got a Stockdale High player down.
That was Leon for Stockdale.
Amazing
he
return. We'll try to get a number on the Stockdale player that's down. And it looks like he's going to be up on his own power. Oh, no, coach is having to carry him out, and that's never good. Hopefully he can get back out, and that looks like number 12.
Isaiah Rocha. Oh, that's Stockdale, excuse me.
Adrian Pena, Coach. Adrian Pena. He's the junior receiver and outside linebacker.
Stockdale going to have great field position here.
Right, and for Independence defense that's played pretty well through the first half, you know, it's unfortunate for special teams to, you know, to put you in a hole after a pretty good punt. Nonetheless, it's pistol formation. They go with that read zone, inside zone again. And that's going to be taken out for about 4 yards, making it a 2nd and 6. You know, so we talked about it in the beginning how coaches nowadays, Coach, and you were an offensive coach, even though you were one of the greatest defensive players of all time, you're remembered for more offensive stuff that you've done as a coach. Talk about the unique ways that coaches change formations but still run some of the same plays.
That's kind of the what we call smoke and mirrors. You know, you want to throw a lot of smoke out there, keep it simple, run the same play, give them a lot of different formations, but running the same play out of that formation.
Right, now they go with the QB sweep, and that's another flag.
And this looks like it may be against Stockdale again.
You know, and that's one of the things that's frustrating from a coach's perspective, too. Here you are 4 games into the season, and you're starting to see a bit of a pattern from the penalty perspective.
Right.
You know, we've seen about 3 penalties per drive by each team.
Yeah.
You got to clean that up.
This is Stockdale's 2nd game, so, you know, everybody says you make the biggest improvement between that 1st and 2nd game. So coming in that 2nd game, these are all penalties that should have been used last game.
Right, and I'm glad you said that because, you know, how quickly we forget that Stockdale is 1-0 after playing Ridgeview. They were off last week. So they're still working some things out, iron out the kinks, but right now looking very well as they threaten to reach into the red zone. That's going to be incomplete on a quick out.
Always tough to. They were on the Stockdale's on the far hash or the closest hash there, and they put the formation in the sideline. You don't have a lot of room, especially when you go trips out there.
Right, and it's also a scary throw too because
you got a lot of more defenders out there.
Right. You know, and that's about the 4th out that we've seen. You got to wonder, you know, if Independence is going to pick up on that and start shifting that coverage and probably dropping into some 2 out of that man.
Maybe. Yeah.
You know, and you might see that pick to the house. If I call that, somebody owe me a beer. Shotgun double set. Jet motion, and they go with that play action. He rolls left. He has a man, has 2 men, and that's thrown deep. He took the third deepest man, but he had 2 underneath wide open. That would have been a good first down with yardage to run.
Yeah, that was Rico back there on the coverage. That was, if he would have read that right, that was a ball that he could have made a play on.
Absolutely, and that was dangerous as you had that safety underneath that
Rico,
deep post.
Major rule that you don't let that ball get over your head if you're a safety.
Absolutely. I know nothing about that. Nothing behind me. So 4th and 10, somewhat no man's land for Stockdale. So they're going to go back to that pistol double set. And now they're going to motion the trips. Independence in the 2 deep safety look. They've ran that flood play all day, and it's covered very well. Now he has to throw it. Oh, and it's deep. Oh, and it's caught, and that's going to be a touchdown on the backside. Great job and great catch by Shane Hereford, but we got 2 flags. Oh, and that's going to be personal foul. Oh, chop block, illegal chop block. For Stockdale, and that's going to come back, and that's crucial because that was an amazing effort by the quarterback to scramble backside. Coach, break that down.
Gallegos did a great job in extending that play. You always hear about the extending the plays with the leg. Independence did a great job at the first part of the play, but they kind of let off the foot off the pedal. Gallegos wheels it around, comes all the way back over, and hits his receiver wide open.
And I was looking at the pass. I didn't see the chop block anywhere. So,
well, you know, when you're running around as a quarterback back there, it may look good to you and everybody's watching. You put those linemen in a bind because now they're chasing, trying to protect you. You're over here, you're over there, you're everywhere.
Right, and they got to protect you. High punt. And that's going to be a nice one down to the 15-yard line. So great job by the Independence defense.
Well, I think it went out on about the 22 there.
Okay.
Yeah, so they didn't even kick it back to the line or the first down marker.
Wow. Also, okay, so that's going to be from the 22. It bounced out of bounds and then bounced back inbounds. But that'll be 1st and 10 for Independence. 10:09 remaining to play in the second quarter. Special thanks to our Valley Strong Credit Union sponsors, Kern High Network, Kern High Superintendents, and the Independence High School Administration for hosting this game.
Got another score out there. Taft 6, Foothills 0.
Uh-oh. Zone read inside and an amazing run.
Peaker.
And if you've never seen Peaker, he puts you in the mind state of a all-stock.
Yeah.
He also reminds you of that kid they got over in New Orleans as well that plays quarterback. He's one of the toughest kids on the field.
Tyson what's his name? Tyson?
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, Newsom or something like that.
Pistol formation, double set. 2 deep safety look for Stockdale. Oh, and that's sniffed out right away. Can't even tell who kept it. They tackled both of them.
That's right.
Great penetration.
Stockdale did a good job tackling both, and we'll sort it out later. One of you got the ball.
Taysom Hill is the quarterback that we were thinking. You know, if you watch Peaker, he looks very much like Taysom Hill. You know, slim, strong.
If you really look at his dimensions, he's the same size as McCafferty for Carolina.
Oh,
McCafferty is a little faster, though.
Yeah, he's all around beast. I hated his dad. Oh, late throw outside, but it's caught.
Good enough for a first down there by Rico, number 3 for Independence.
Boy, Leon Smith had his eyes all over that one and hoping to get to it, but he was a step late, and that's going to be 1st and 10 for Independence, and they finally moved the chains. Anthony Rico trotting back out on the field. Independence doing some things very well, and now they finally get the chains to move. So let's see what the next step and next level of the offense is as they face this 40 even front of Stockdale. Oh, and Denmark keeps it, but we got a quick flag in the backfield, and that was very quick.
Yeah, they had 2 guys moving in the backfield. Independence did. So that's coming back. You know, Denmark has his best success when he's throwing up the field in between the hashes. He doesn't throw as well to the outside the hashes. But when he has to hit a seam, a slant, something like that, he's very good.
A legal shift will be walked off against Independence. And like you said, Coach, he does such a great job between the hashes and between the tackles. I think it's more a reflection of how well he can do when they give him the right protection as well.
Yeah. And, of course, that may never happen, but this is high school football, and you deal with what you get, you know.
Right. Timeout on the field. We'll see what they have going. It's equipment malfunction. And he'll have to come out. I'm not sure what's going on. It may be
whether he's got a helmet malfunction, which it looks like.
Yeah, maybe missing the earpiece or something. I'm not sure. Nonetheless, trips open set. And that's going nowhere. Amazing pursuit by Stockdale. And that might be helmet to helmet right there, leading with the helmet.
Independence might get a break here.
Yeah, Leon Smith came in there late, helmet first. And that was totally unnecessary because he was pretty much already down. And you got him at a second and about 17. And that might be free laundry, ladies and gentlemen. We'll let them sort it out. 7:42 remaining to play. Stockdale holding on to a 7-point lead. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. Dr. Julian Wilson, our producer director here at Independence High School. And we do have the personal foul targeting, leading with the helmet. And we'll see if this ends up resulting in him leaving the game as well, Coach, because you know, with these new rules.
Yeah, I saw a college game the other night. They had 3 or 4 get ejected.
Right. You know, and Coach, you taught us how to tackle the right way as players in high school, but I don't know if I would have survived in nowadays game because that face stayed leading the way.
Yeah, that rugby tackle.
First and short, and he doesn't have to come out, so that's a good thing for Stockdale. Now Peekert, nice stiff arm, and another flag in the backfield as Peekert strung out on the outside. And woo!
Kind of threw somebody a forearm shiver with that straight arm he threw, but I think the flag's going to be against Independence.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Coach, I hadn't seen this much laundry since last weekend at my house because we do laundry every weekend, but these yellow face towels are becoming a common thing in this first half. That's going to back them back up.
Yeah, the thing about these penalties is they're not cheap ones. They're big ones.
Yeah, nice chunks. You have a 1st and 1.
I think that's about 5 15-yard penalties in a row.
Wow. And this is why I'm a broadcaster. So now we have a 1st and 11. Stockdale in the 30 even front.
Denmark coming back in the game. Looks like he got his helmet fixed.
Now they're going in that trips open set, and you wonder at what point will Independence try to stretch the field? They haven't thrown anything farther than 20 yards, and this might be that opportunity, but you see the pressure, And that might be why they cannot throw it 20 yards, because there's no time, because Stockdale's defensive line is meaning business right now. Amazing pursuit. That's going to be a huge loss.
Quarterback sack number 1.
Bringing up 2nd and 14.
That's right. You do have, they lined up Rico in the third spot, which is the receiver closest to the quarterback. And you get a mismatch. When you get a guy with his speed and he's on a safety, even though that safety's off about 12 yards, you're still going to get a mismatch. You can curl him up in front of him. You can run by him. You can do some things. It's just giving him time to get it there.
Absolutely. So 6:41 remaining to play in the first half. Stockdale defense doing a great job making Independence earn everything that they get. Everything they earn seems to be taken away right away.
Yeah.
Hence the 0 on the scoreboard. But it goes back to the point that you made earlier. We've all worked as college recruiters. You look out on the field, everybody's expecting to see players from first sight. Stockdale is a team that has a bunch of players that you might not be drop dead, head over heels for from an eye test, but they're doing a great job playing as a unit, as a defense, and that's the results of this first half with 6:41 to play. But this is a huge second and long, because you want to get some of this back if you're Independence. And they go at that trips open set and a nice screen setup. If he can make this miss, he might have some action. Amazing move by Pickard. Amazing development and setup and call by Coach Hobble. And now it'll be 3rd and a makeable 2 for the Independence Falcons.
Yeah, good run. That was more of a run after catch than it was anything else there on that short screen. What you're getting, though, is you're getting single when Independence goes trips with a single receiver on the other side. They are getting a lot of single coverage on that backside. So you might see some Independence go that way in a couple plays.
Let's see. Now they're in that shotgun double set. In that last run, Coach looked a little McCaffrey-esque by Pickard. And now Denmark keeps it. And, I'm telling you, this guy can fly. He's across the 30, across the 20. 2 steps. It dives to the 2-yard line. Amazing individual effort as he pulled it out on the RPO. And we talked about the athletic ability of Denmark, looking like a young Lamar Jackson.
Yep. And cut that back, and he's about on the half-foot line.
Wow.
I think this referee here right in the middle wanted to give him a touchdown, but he started looking to his partner.
It looked like he pirouetted and got that elbow over, but nonetheless, 1st and goal, and how about that? Independence knocking on the door. And that's going to be touchdown. Independence, and we have a game, ladies and gentlemen.
You saw what Independence did there. Anytime you get a big play, you always want to hustle to the line. This is the new fad. You hustle to the line, and you get that next play off while the defense is on their heels. They're sitting there, their heads down. They're yelling at each other. You blew it. It's your fault, whatever. Get on the ball, run the play.
Absolutely, Coach. There was a Burgundy team that we played 20 years ago that used to sprint to the line every time, and it had our defense so confused. Cost me a couple of rings.
Yeah.
Nonetheless.
In fact, it was the uniforms were just like this one.
Absolutely. So now we got Independence going for 2, making things interesting, and you got Denmark with the flag in the backfield, and that's going to be no good, and you wonder why. But, hey, we haven't seen them kick a PAT, so they may have issues with the kicker. But that's going to be no good. And Stockdale will retain the 1-point lead with 5:27 to play on Kern High Network Football, live from Independence High School. Independence doing a fantastic job. If you wonder how they got down there, Denmark with the RPO fake handoff to the dive to Pickard. He's been doing so well the previous few runs before that. He fakes the dive, almost got it stuck and pulled it out, skated out for about 55 yards, And that led to the 1st and goal and a touchdown for Independence Falcons. And now we have a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Falcons 6.
Special thanks to our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union, Kern High School District, Kern High Network, Stan the Man Green, quarterback of the 1988 national champion Bakersfield College Renegades, who open up tomorrow at home after having last week's game canceled versus Pierce. I'm excited to be back on the Dameron deck.
Now, who do they play tomorrow?
We actually have El Camino tomorrow, Coach. And in the
bring in the big boys.
Oh, yeah, and the last time we played El Camino down there, we had to call the game in the 4th quarter because it got that physical. And now this guy got one man to beat, and he's crossed the 50, crossed the 40, and that's going to be all the way to the house. And how about that, Stockdale?
But I hate to break the news to you. We got a flag back there.
Oh, wow. So our first kickoff return to the house of the game. And that is going to be brought all the way back. And I'm telling you, it's a laundry party out here today.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Wow.
Now, what number? I was watching the flag. What number was that of Stockdale?
I couldn't even tell you, Coach. I need my glasses.
Arizabal, was that 31?
Who was on the return, guy?
That was Arizabal.
Amazing return by Arizabal. It's going to be brought back. Brandon Arizabal, the senior. He's a wide receiver. He's DB. He's a kicker. He's a punter. And he just took one to the house that was called back. You're talking about an athlete. Wow. Get him a Bo Jackson jersey. Pistol formation, double set for Stockdale. And now they go that power. Oh, jet sweep. And amazing blocking on the edge. And that's going to be a great first down run.
And that's Arizabal again.
Wow. Talk about having gas in the tank. Arizabal did about a 70-yard sprint for the touchdown that was called back. Gets back and runs a 17-yard power for the first down.
Well, you know this. We've seen this enough times. If you're playing a fly sweep team, the one thing you've got to do is what? You've got to set the edge. You got to set the edge, and Independence has not been able to set the edge on a consistent level, consistent basis.
Right. My buddy Dale Pearson would be pretty upset seeing that happen. And there they go around that edge again, Coach, for another 14, 13-yard gain.
Wouldn't you know it? We got more laundry.
Oh, my goodness. Well, babe, if you're listening, I'll be home at 2:30 in the morning because it's a flag every other play. Nonetheless, it's 4:26 remaining to play in the first half. We got a tight game. Stockdale holding on to a 1-point lead. They just had a 75-yard kickoff return called back for a hold. But like you said, if you just tuned in and you're hearing me and Coach get a little frustrated, it's because we've seen about 20 penalties in this first half between both teams, and that sets you up for a long night.
And 90% of them have been 15-yarders.
Right, and when you're seeing 15-yard penalties, that kind of goes towards the character of the player more than the scheme of coaches. It's just about discipline from some of the 15-yard varieties. But they go right back to that jet sweep. And, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now they finally try to set that edge. Great job by number 14. And they said Richard Goodman, but I thought that looked like Brian Anaya on the tackle by the Falcons.
Independence not really setting a hard edge. What they're doing is they're stringing it out and making that Stockdale running back just run to the sideline, which is sometimes just as effective.
Right, because, you know, as a running back coach, you kind of want your running back to stick that foot in the ground and get up the field instead of continuing to go east-west.
That's right.
And they're not doing that right now. They're continuing to go to the sideline. Well, it's worked so well. And now we have a flag.
I think we might get a 5-yarder here.
Oh, delay of game by Stockdale, and that's very frustrating.
Take a picture of that one.
You know, and they continue to go backwards after pretty much controlling the first half from an offensive perspective the whole way. So now we got a 2nd and forever. Pistol formation, shotgun double set against a 2-deep safety look, 30 even front for Independence Falcons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have a timeout. We'll take a quick break. 3:03 remaining to play in the first half on Kern High Network Football right after this. Welcome back to Kern High Network Football. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn live from Independence High School. Stockdale holding on to a 1-point lead. And now we got a wheel route. An amazing job by that safety getting over the top because that backer was beat. Now we're going to have a 3rd and forever.
Yeah, a little wheel route against that cover 2 look by that safety. Don't play the man, play the ball, though.
Don't play the man, play the ball. He could have picked that off.
Yeah, even if the ball's overthrown, that's your ball once it's in the air.
We talked about that last week, Coach. You guys always taught us that when the ball is put on the ground to be snapped, it's ours.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have defenders who are just going with the flow, just out there. You have to be conscious of what the point of the game is. It's the ball. So now we got a reverse. Nice block outside by the Stockdale receiver. And that was a good block by Julian Leon to get some of that back. Nonetheless, that's going to be a 4th and forever, and that's going to be a punt. So another great job by the Independence defense getting it done and getting that ball back with 2 minutes remaining to play in the first half to get their offensive opportunity to try to capitalize on some good field position. Fourth and 15.
A little unusual punt formation here.
Right. Oh, and he drops it.
Really, as a returner, really nothing you could do on that one because he kicked it so low you didn't really have a chance to catch that in the air.
Right, somewhat of a rugby-style kick after the bobble snap, but nonetheless, it'll be 1st and 10, and one of our favorite parts of practice is 2-minute offense.
That's right.
And when your head coach is a former quarterback, you know that's his favorite part of practice as well. So let's see how the Independence offense can take advantage of this 2-minute drill and see if they can capitalize to try to go ahead as they trail by 1 point to the Mustangs. 2-deep safety look for Stockdale. Shotgun double set or pistol formation for Independence. And they go inside run. The delay to Pinkerton, man, I'll tell you, if you've never seen this kid play, he is a load.
I don't know, but for Stockdale, I'm trying. He's on the bottom of the pile there. That looks like number 16. But if he doesn't make that tackle, Peaker's still running. So that was a great play by 16.
Yeah, Isaac Herrera was holding on for dear life.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, great job getting them down, and now they're going with that trips open set, and here's that up-tempo that we talked about with 2nd and 6. Oh, and they're going with the fade, and he has a step. Oh, and it's just thrown outside. Looks like the receiver lost it.
It looked like he lost it, and it just didn't time his jump.
Well, we talked about the athletic ability of Denmark, and there's an opportunity for you to see that he's a good athlete, but quarterback still has some things to work on because his receiver had a step there, and all you got to do is just put it out in front of him and allow him to run up under it.
It was kind of a combination. Like you said, I don't think that receiver really was tracking that ball. But now you're at 3rd and 6. You didn't get much on first down. Second down, you go for the long ball, and you still have plenty of time. So.
Oh, and that got a nice screen set up, Coach. And if he makes man miss right here, it might be smoking the city. And he does, and that's going to be first down. How about Pickard? He does such a great job with yards after contact.
Well, now in 2 games that we've seen Independence, what's their go-to play?
Screen.
Screen to Pickard.
Absolutely.
So, clock is now running.
I want to send a shout-out to my guy, Ulysses Rivera, always tuned in and giving us some love, Coach. You know, he's a driller parent.
Okay.
You know, they're off this weekend, so they tuned in watching some games. Special thanks to those guys that are out there supporting us. You know, the Rivera family, one of the staples in Bakersfield.
Independence got to get some urgency going here.
Right, so now they go outside.
You're going to need a timeout here.
28 seconds to play, and that is the timeout that you get, Coach. And we got 3rd and short. We're going to stay here. You know, because like we talked about, Independence doing a good job.
Yeah. And like I said, Denmark does a good job throwing the ball between the hashes, up the seam, and not so good on the outside when he's throwing outside the hash. That's a long throw.
Right.
You know, that's a long throw. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck, and that's right up the seams. You saw that last night. Tom Brady does it as well as anybody. Baker Mayfield. In between those safeties. A lot of grass up there.
Absolutely. And when you don't have the protection that they don't have, the screen game becomes your best friend because you're taking advantage of the defense that knows you don't have good pass protection, and they're sending extra people, and you're just dumping it off right behind them.
Yeah.
Third and short for Independence, doing a great job on the drive, moving the ball methodically.
They've got 0 timeouts here, so take a look at Peaker. Look for Peaker here.
They're in the trips open set, and they're going with that fade. Oh, and that's a great play by the defensive back. Little stare down, 11-on-11 violence as the DB knocks that fade down, and that's going to be 4th and 2. For the Independence Falcons.
You know, you talk about 2-minute drill, not the best we've seen because, you know, throwing that deep ball is a low percentage ball. And you've still had a lot of time. You still got 20 seconds left. And getting that ball, working that ball down in smaller chunks rather than trying to get it all in one time.
Right. I'm very surprised that they didn't try to run the football to get the first down, because the clock stops after the first down.
Yeah.
And then maybe clocking it. But now you have a 4th down opportunity, and if they stop you here, that gives them another shot.
Yeah.
Being the Stockdale Mustangs.
Oh, and now you get a –
wow.
Now we get a 4th and 8.
Delay of game, and that changes the whole picture.
That changes your whole playbook right there.
Yep. You know, Coach, so, you know, my phone's ringing off the hook. Former drillers calling me.
Oh, geez.
You know, it's a lot of big news that happened today. You know, we'll try to stay away from most of it until we get the details. But nonetheless, you got an empty set for Independence in Denmark.
There he is right there in the middle.
Oh, and he doesn't get the ball off. He takes a sack, which you can't do, and you had a man wide open at the 40-yard line. And that's going to be the end of the half. We will be back with more Kern High Network football right after this.
We are these fields. We are these roots. We see the beauty in the everyday, with pride from where we came. We look ahead, to the places that pull us together, to the places that we call home. A new chapter begins now. Kern Schools Federal Credit Union is now Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Visit valleystrong.com/grow to learn more.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Kern High Network Football. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn live from Independence High School as the Stockdale Mustangs have held on to a 1-point lead, leading 7-6. Coach, your halftime prognosis.
Well, according to our statistician, Steve Lynch, Stockdale, 10 penalties, 103 yards.
Whoa.
First half. Total offense, 123 yards.
Wow.
So that's like taking 2 steps up and 2 steps back that first half.
Yeah, we joked about the laundry, and that's a clear reflection of that. And now we're starting off with more laundry. You couldn't even get it out, Coach. Nonetheless, that'll be 1st and 10 for Independence. Independence did a great job hanging around and taking advantage of some of those penalties to get back in the football game.
They did, because, Vegas had this game at a minus 14, 14-point favorite for Stockdale. And now we're a 1 point at halftime. So
you said we got the Vegas bookies out tonight?
Yeah.
Southwest Special. You know they got money out here, Coach. Let's get it going. 1st and 10.
South Point. That's straight from the South Point odds there, odds makers.
Twins right, our first Twins look, and that's going to be the peaker. And wow, amazing run. And I think the mentality in conversation at the half was like, hey, we need to run the football more.
Well, yeah, what they did there is the first time they ran 2 backs right there. So when you have just 1 back from the defensive side, you only have to key 1 guy. You got 1 running back there, and now they've got a 3-headed monster because Denmark is their second best runner.
Absolutely.
Now you've got Rico, Peaker, and Denmark back there. So now you can fake to 1 guy, give it to the other, and away you go.
And right away, that physical nature that we talked about of Evan Peaker is taking its toll on the Stockdale defense, because on the first play from scrimmage, we have a Stockdale Mustang down. So instead of take a break, because we just came off one, we'll talk about history. I'm sitting here thumbing through messages, getting scores. We got some amazing scores that we'll touch on in a second, but I got that message from Dale Pearson just saying hi. He didn't even know I'm here, bragging on him about how well he was as a player. But what I like most about Dale Pearson, the former Independence Falcon, Iowa State Cyclone, and Green Bay Packer draft pick, is that after the game was taken away from him, he didn't give up on life, and now he's doing fantastic in real estate. So shout out to Dale Pearson as Independence goes around the corner and gets that first down, because they must have heard me talking about.
That's right. Anthony Rico, 5'6", 140-pound junior.
Anthony Rico's been very impressive tonight.
Yeah, and that's a good adjustment right now by Independence, what they did at halftime, bringing the 2 backs, getting those 2 guys back there, because they're both effective. One's a speed guy, one's more power guy. Takes a little pressure off Denmark.
Absolutely, and they go back to that RPO inside read, but great pursuit by Stockdale. 11 hats to the ball. 10, because you got the safety back there. But we talked about what's been impressive from the Stockdale standpoint of just getting 10 hats to the ball, not a one-man team, more playing efficient as a unit.
That's right.
Also 3 yards, 2nd down.
We talked about that earlier. They don't look like a D1 club, but they're flying around and they're giving the extra effort like they are.
Absolutely. 2nd and 14 after the 4-yard loss, and they're staying in that 2-back set with Twins right, but now they're going with a pass, and he has some time. That's the most time he's had all night. And just overthrows him. You'd like to see him throw that more towards the pylon.
Well, what happened was he was throwing to the post. That's his landmark. But Moten had broken that off and kind of slowed down. Didn't think he was, because he saw Denmark under pressure, kind of gave up on his route.
Gave up on his route. See, you're watching that front end. I'm watching the back end. That's a great analysis. And I think that's what makes quarterbacks so special at the next level, because they can see the miscommunication from receivers and throw them open.
Yeah.
3rd and 14 for the Falcons. Now they're going with the quick option, and Denmark Takes it inside, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage.
It's going to be a 4-down zone, so we would probably see Independence go for it here.
And that's what we talked about earlier. Hey, if you know you're going to go for it, why not do a play that's going to get you some more yards towards the sticks instead of just standing back and chunking it in the air 3 times in a row. So that's a great decision and adjustment.
So we got a 4th and a long 9 here for Independence.
2 deep safety look, Coach, for Stockdale. They've been in that. It looks more like quarters.
Yeah, got a lot of green between those receivers up top.
Twins right. Denmark drops back to pass. He has a pocket, and that's a nice ball inside, and it's caught on the curl, and that's going to be first down.
Told you we had a lot of green between that slot receiver.
And that's what, go ahead, Coach.
You can, gives you a lot of options on offense. You can curl up in front of him for a good 12, 15 yards. You can run by him. But given what Independence was given there, they took it. 15-yard curl, hit it.
And that's why they pay you the big bucks. That's all I was going to say. 1st and 10. Now you got Pickard, and one man is not going to tackle him, but we got another flag in the backfield, and we got an Independence lineman down. And so we'll have a quick timeout.
Well, the good thing is we had 3 plays without a penalty. 3 in a row.
And
that's going to be against Independence.
Yeah, and that's going to be a hold, and it takes them right back out of the red zone, and it's kind of a microcosm of the night. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back.
Yeah. And we talked about the penalties against Stockdale. Well, Independence is right up there with them.
Absolutely. I'd love to get the numbers on them because they weren't far behind Stockdale on the amount of flags. And while they marched that back, Coach, one of the things, we've been so busy, we got here right on time. They started everything. And then the sun drops, and we look to the left, and we see this beautiful facility, brand new Kern High School District swimming pool complex. Wow. Oh, so he has that man. They go back to that post. Oh! Amazing play on the ball by the defensive back. As that ball was thrown exactly where we said it should be, and they went right back to it, Coach. But that was just an amazing play. Playing it at the highest point.
Probably should have been caught. So he might realize we didn't forget about his drop. He can lay there as long as he wants, but we still remember the drop.
Right, because it looked like he had it.
Yeah.
2 hands up, highest point.
Yeah.
It just couldn't squeeze, and that was almost intercepted off the tip as well. So that's a 4th down play. That's going to be turnover and downs. How about that Stockdale defense?
Yeah. People.
Oh, no, it's not turnover and downs. 2nd down.
2nd down. That's a big play because I think that ball should have been caught.
Right. Yeah, I got a little loss on the sticks, ladies and gentlemen. So that was a 1st and long. Now it's going to be 2nd and long, and now they're staying in that Twins set. And Denmark is taking the QB sweep, and he has some blocking outside. Gets it inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. They love that QB sweep.
That time, if you notice Denmark, he kind of played a little coy when he got the snap, kind of almost like he was going to run right up the middle, but then bounced it out, drew the defenders in. With his speed, he got outside.
And it was kind of Le'Veon Bell-esque with the patience that he had in the middle of that hole, because I was wondering, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But he was actually kind of trying to set that defensive end up. So great observation, Coach. 3rd and 13 after the phantom 4th down call that I just made. And now Independence doing a fantastic job again with that hard count, just trying to earn some more yardage.
Could bring up about a 3rd and long 8 here.
So we talked about the penalties Stockdale had in the first half. our man Steve Lynch, who's also my statistician on the Hill, you know, he pointed out the fact that they had 10 penalties for that amount of yardage. One of the penalties nullified a 70-yard kickoff return to the house. So they got to clean that up if you're Stockdale. But nonetheless, Independence running the power, and that's a great gain. And that's going to be taken inside the 12-yard line, where there'll be another 4th down, and methodically, Independence just trying to continue to eat away 3 yards in a cloud of dust, as you talked about.
Yeah.
Ground and pound. We've seen flash and dash. We've seen ground and pound. We've seen a little bit of both today.
Yep. I'm assuming with 4th, they're going to try to get Denmark on the edge here. Some kind of rollout maybe.
And there it is, Coach. They run that naked sweep, and
I don't. Yeah, it's going to be close.
Oh, that's very close. And I'm going to tell you the problem I have with the QB sweep, Coach. Even though he gets the 1st down, I always felt like it was a better idea to give your QB a two-way option. If you're running that way, at least give him an option route to throw if that's shut down, because that looked kind of tight.
Yeah, because that was all run there.
Nonetheless,
you're right. Somehow and what you do when you do give them that pass option is you clear 2 defenders out of there. So you're not, you know, if it's just a straight run, those guys are lining up to block, keeping the defender there, and it's kind of, if you're looking at it as a running back, you're kind of bottled up.
Absolutely. Twins right. Pro formation, and they go with that power again, and that power has been paying dividends in Independence, taking the lead as they go in on the power. They ran that play 3 times on this drive, Coach.
And you see they pull that big old lineman, and little Rico just gets right behind him, and they really can't see him. He's playing a little peekaboo in there, and he cuts it up, puts his foot in the ground, and goes north and south.
Absolutely, and they're going to go for that 2 because they went for 2 earlier and didn't get it. And one of the things you just highlighted, Coach, that we said Stockdale needed to do a little bit better job of is sticking the foot in the ground and not continuing to go to the sideline. Find a hole, put your foot in the ground, and get up the field, and that pays dividends for Independence. And now they're going for 2. And now they do have the QB sweep going, but still no outlet for the quarterback, and that's just going to be in.
Yeah, that was
no good.
Not a well-executed play there.
So, Independence up 12. They basically failed 2 two-point conversions. They're up 12-7. Stockdale playing some solid defense, nonetheless, giving up some big plays that's resulted in Independence getting down into the red zone. But I think that was more of a quality drive inside and out by Independence.
Definitely Independence best drive of the night there.
I think the mentality that they came out of the half with, running the football and establishing the pass and play action off of the run, is what developed the success that they've had on that drive.
Yeah, we talked about getting not only a 2-headed monster back there, but a 3-headed monster as well as Denmark runs.
Denmark has been fantastic on the ground. I'd like to see his numbers from a rushing perspective. Pickard has been fantastic, getting the hard yards inside the tackles. But like you said, Denmark does the best job throwing the football in between the hash. And we saw that on some of those post routes, even the post route that was dropped, you know, that they ended up converting on afterward. But I like what you're saying in that aspect, Coach. He definitely looks more of a pure passer when he can throw the football in between the hash.
Yeah, you know, when you're running that RPO and making a lot of stuff, a lot of the throws have to be up the field in those seams because you don't have time to throw it to the outside because you're making all those play fakes.
Right. And also on those play fakes, those backers are coming up and you're trying to dump it right over the back of their heads. And that's what happened on that play action that they caught that curl that led to the 1st and goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just working that play action and trying to get that ball over the linebacker's head. So great observation.
Now, I might have a talk with the Independence kicker. You just kicked it to number 31, who in the second quarter ran one back for 70 yards, and you turn around and kick it right to him.
Short at that.
Yeah. Kickoff team is not rocket science. Don't kick it to the fast guys.
Well, Coach, we talked about it. We talk about it every week from an aspect of how important special teams is.
Yeah.
A lot of the young guys think this is a playoff, not realizing that this is when games are won and lost.
Yeah.
And that very well could have been a blowout loss if that kickoff return had counted earlier.
Right.
You know, so you definitely want to have that talk if you're the independent special teams coach. Great job getting around the edge, and that's going to be a first down. And I'll tell you what, if you've never seen Brandon Arzabal, the senior, he is a fantastic player to watch for Stockdale. They haven't had a lot of fantastic things happen in the offensive scheme of things, but he's making some plays.
Well, you know, on that fly sweep, there's two things you can do if you're carrying the ball. You can either stick your foot in the ground, get upfield, or you can try to outrun that defense to the edge, and that's what he did there.
Yeah, he definitely got there. I was about to criticize him for continuing to go east-west, but he found a way. And here's another situation where I said, like, you want to get that foot and stick it in the ground.
But you can't do both. You got to make he stuck his foot in the ground, thought he was going to cut up, and he said, no, I'm going to the sideline.
Right, you got to be decisive. You know, because as you make that second move, you got two more guys increasing that distance. And that's just a great job of pursuit by that defensive line and linebacker core of Independence. It's going to be 2nd and 10. And they've stayed in this double set pistol formation a whole lot. And now you got a waggle route on the outside, and that's and they actually had it, but it's just underthrown as they go with the old school QB waggle. You faking left and you bending back out and coming back out right.
A little drag there by Arzabal. Did you get that from Vance?
Yeah, I got it. Sorry for the silence. We got my man VP hitting us up for scores, so we're going to hit him back and let him know it's 12-7. Independence leading Stockdale with 4:59 to play in the third quarter. Now Stockdale taking a shot, and they got a man, and this caught at the 30, and that was a dart.
That was a great throw by
amazing
great throw by Galagos there. That's where you want to put it against that cover two. You got that pocket there. Once you pass that corner before that safety can get over, you've got that little pocket in there.
And what I like, Coach, he didn't put air under it. He put it on the line so it gets there so the safety doesn't have time. That was an amazing throw.
Receiver like that, too. You put air on it, it gives that safety time to come over and give you a headache.
Right, and it looks like the pass is going to be incomplete. We have a flag in the backfield because we have two people moving with the illegal shift. But I will say, it looks like the offense of Stockdale is kind of gaining some rhythm in the passing game.
Yeah.
Everything that's working in the pocket from a mesh standpoint is looking very well as they work the play action.
Yeah, so they've been hitting them with that fly sweep and getting that Independence defense to go where? Lateral, okay? Now all of a sudden they're hitting them downfield with the passes, and the one he tried to threw short to Arzabal, he had the 7 route open.
Nonetheless, it's going to be 1st and 15, and that's going to be taken outside again. And I tell you what, they've been executing, getting to that edge. We've been very critical as far as them getting around the edge, but they've done a good job getting 8 and 9 yard gains.
That time, Stockdale number 22 there.
And that looks like that's going to be Ben Spears, sophomore wide receiver.
So that time he decided to try to outrun the defense to the outside, and he did a good job. Gained 5 yards.
Stockdale has some athletes. We just haven't had a chance to talk about them much because their style of offense has been more of a ball control approach. but we've seen them take a shot as well as Julian Leon caught that long pass a couple of plays ago. So you're starting to see him take advantage as we near this end of this third quarter.
Yeah, and the one thing we haven't seen, we've seen 2 backside slants from that single receiver. Don't be surprised if you see
a little slow go.
Yeah, a little slow go or getting him a little deeper to the post.
That would be an amazing call right now with this field that you have as well, because that corner route is looking very nice. And now they're going with that power sweep again, jet sweep. But Independence trying to do a great job of getting pursuit, but they give up the first down. That's going to be another 7-yard gain. And as we stated, they're getting what they want out of that jet sweep. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right.
It's going to be first down as they cross into the red zone, the 19-yard line, and Stockdale doing a very good job managing clock.
I wouldn't mind seeing the number 8, Adrian Medina, run that fly sweep.
Medina has some wheels, but now they go inside, and that's a nice, hard running, and again, coach, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's been pretty much the mentality of the offense.
Well, that looks like somebody new there, number 5 for Stockdale.
And that's going to be Aaron Charles. He had the carry earlier. He also had 40 yards rushing in their game against Ridgeview.
Okay.
So we have a timeout. Independence. We'll take a quick break, give our sponsors the opportunity to have some fresh air, and we'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Independence High School. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. 2:14 remaining to play in the third quarter. Stockdale doing a very good job on this offensive drive. Have it with a 2nd and 6 inside the 15-yard line against the Independence defense that has played very well when it counts. And now you got that play action pass and a nice job finding the curl, and that's that tempo and rhythm that I talked about that I like, that I've seen from them in this drive, Coach.
And that's a good little adjustment off their fly sweep. They fake the fly sweep, hit that little slant, what they call slant and stop. So he acted like he was going to run a slant, and then he just sits down in that zone.
You know, those are some of the hardest routes to learn how to run as a receiver, because you have to have patience and know where to sit.
That's right. Slant, slide, and sit, we call it.
Trips, motion in the doubles, and now we got a quick flag, and now as soon as they get inside the 5-yard line, it's laundry day again.
Well, looks like they were going to run an option to the short side. And we talk about catching punts, right?
Right.
And my other pet peeve is running the option to the short side of the field.
Things that make you go,
And here's that double wing again.
Oh, and now they go with that power sweep, and great job by the defensive line.
Independence wasn't falling for that one.
You know, so, Coach, let's talk about that real quick. Some people wonder, why do you run to the short side? Sometimes you're running things to the short side to set something up 2 plays later, and I like the wide side of the field for Stockdale right now, but now they're in that heavy run set, so I don't know how much passing we're going to see out of that wing T. And now they go with the power again, and Independence is ready for all of it. And now that's going to be a 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line.
This is 4-down zone for Stockdale. They need a touchdown. Field goal won't help them.
Right, so that was very, very interesting sequence of plays called there because you're so tight in that area. It's not enough room to pass, but a little too far to run.
Yeah, you know, that double wing's a whole different animal. It takes a lot of time. You'll see some teams use that as a changeup, maybe a goal line defense, short yardage. You see they're back in the spread now.
Right, so right now, you got some confusion in Independence, and now the ball is loose. And that ball came out, ladies and gentlemen.
I think Independence has it.
Independence is on the football, and that is going to be a 1st and 10. Oh, well, let's see. We got a small conversation, but that ball looked like it came out to me.
Makai Deans looked like fell on it, but are they saying he was down? He might have been.
He might have been down. We're a little bit far away from the play, and it is going to be down. Stockdale avoids a huge turnover as Independence with the amazing stop. And I got to say, I thought it was out, but I'm not on the field to see a knee down. You know, and that's going to be the end of the 3rd quarter. And, Coach, we'll talk about that after the break when we come back with more Kern High Network football. Welcome back to Kern High Network football, 4th quarter action, live from Independence High School. Independence with a 5-point lead over a charging Stockdale Mustangs team. They come out in the trips open set. And now they're going to roll left, and that's going to be slung, and that was an amazing pass. Caught at the 2-yard line.
By Adrian Medina. Number 8 for Stockdale.
Amazing pass by Jordan Gallegos as he rolls left and zips it to the 2-yard line. That was a big-time throw by the young man.
Yeah, it was.
That's a hard throw on the move, Coach.
Well, it is, especially when you stop and set your feet like he did. Most, as you're rolling left, you want to try to throw that sucker on the run, but he set his feet. He bought himself a little time on the rollout, set his feet, and got rid of it.
Very mature throw, because if you know your arm strength isn't strong enough to get it there, you got to square those feet up, and they do that. But nonetheless, he don't get in, and that's going to be 1st and 10 for Independence. Wow. So turnover on downs by Stockdale to get it all the way to the 2-yard line.
Now that was
come up empty.
Now the bad thing about that was it was 4th and goal. So that route has got to be where?
Into the end zone.
Into the end zone.
You know, we were so impressed by the pass, we didn't even realize what down it was. I swear we're going to get it together, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. 2nd and 14 for Independence.
Ridgeview was out about on the Independence on about the 1-inch line there.
But how about that defense of Independence stepping up again when it counts in the red zone? And now they got to delay a game. But
so they're going to be on about the 1/2-inch line. What do you think?
Yep, but hey, when you're backed up this deep, you don't want to rush anything. You want to make sure you're on the same page because they can only move it about 3 inches. No, but
yeah, if you're Stockdale, though, you make a play here, makes it 12-9, and you get the ball back.
Coach, I like this matchup in the slot because if he throws this to the post, he had somebody, but now he's going to use that athletic ability, and he's out across the 20. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've never seen Mr. Denmark play, he definitely can get it done with his feet. LaDon Denmark, the 5'11 senior, is finding a way to will his team in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was definitely a big play for him.
So we got a 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Twins left, and they've stayed in that formation since they came out. And now they're going inside to Peeker, and Peeker makes one miss, breaks 2 tackles, and he's still carrying people, I'll tell you. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Allstott reincarnated in Evan Peeker. This dude is tough.
Going to bring up about a 2nd and 1.
That's a 9-yard gain.
Oh, they're going to give him a first down.
10-yard gain. Guys, I got to tell you, I don't like doing comparisons, but sometimes you just can't avoid them. This kid is tough.
And as the game goes on, he gets better and better.
I'd like to see him in some red and white next year.
Up on the hill, yeah. He's that kind of, he's a renegade running back, prototypical.
Oh, reminds me of the late 80s, early 90s, how he's taking some of those powers and those veers that he's running. You know, we stayed in the 2-back set.
Yeah.
On the hill in the 80s and 90s.
Well, you guys didn't have much of a choice when you got an offensive line coach calling your offensive plays. Coach Dameron.
Coach Dameron. Salute to the legend. I mean, hey, and it don't hurt. It don't hurt when you got George Jones and Mike Gray in the backfield, too.
That's true, yeah. Then you had the head coach, a big old ex-lineman linebacker.
Yeah, we used to run that ball. Great job by Rico on that power. And as you talked about, Coach, that 3-headed monster, you got 3 different levels of athleticism back there. You got Rico, who's the scat back. You got Denmark, who's just lights out athletic. And you got Peeker, who's just so strong it takes 5 to 6 people to get him down every time he gets a carry.
Yeah. Yep. And that's a good problem if you're Independence.
3rd and 6.
But either way, 3rd and 6 is a big chunk you got to get.
No, and they go with that hard count. Great job by the defensive line of Stockdale being disciplined. And now you're getting a timeout from the Independence Falcons. So we'll stay here, Coach. We'll talk about what's coming up in upcoming weeks. You got the Falcons. They'll head to play Frontier. Or no, they'll host Frontier next week. Then they'll be away at BCHS before coming back home and facing Tehachapi, and then Golden Valley before seeing West High. And then you got Stockdale. They'll be at home versus El Diamante of Visalia. Then they'll play away at Moore Park, a non-league game, and then they'll open up league versus Frontier on the 1st, and then Drillerland on the 8th. And it's going to be very interesting to see what's happening in Drillerland, you know, after today's events, you know, so we can't duck it. We'll get back to it.
Yeah. But if you look at Stockdale's, and we'll go to this play here.
Denmark scrambling, he's going to be sacked, and that's a huge sack on 3rd down by Stockdale. And how about that defense at the right time, getting the right play? And that's going to bring up a 4th down, and we'll see the Independence punter for the first time in a while.
Good time to make a play if you're Stockdale defense.
You know, and they've done that all game, Coach.
And you're going to get pretty good field position. Independence hasn't been kicking the lights out of the ball here, so you're going to get good field position if you catch the punt.
And that's Denmark with the punt. This kid's he do it all.
And he didn't catch the punt.
Oh, and if you're a Stockdale receiver, why are you so close to the ball as a punt returner, Julian Leon? Whoa, I talked about things that give coaches great hair, and that's one of them. Get away. Nonetheless, it'll be 1st and 10 for the Mustangs.
Now, you're talking about Stockdale's schedule. You know, they don't have a lot of breathers. They travel to El Diamante, who I think they'll match up very well with. Moore Park, we don't know too much about, but then they open up with league with Frontier, Bakersfield, Centennial, Liberty, and Garces.
Wow. That's a tough road.
That's quite a gauntlet there, especially those last two, Garces and Liberty.
Right, and I don't know who wants to play a 0-4 Bakersfield High team, because that's just never something that you hear of. So you got to think that whoever's going to be calling the shots when they come out after this 2-week break that they have, they're going to be chomping at the bit to get after somebody, especially in league play. Nonetheless, it's about Stockdale right now, and it's a 7-minute game for this 4th quarter, and they're in that shotgun double set, and they're going with a lot of misdirection inside, and they get that zone read dive for the 1st down.
And that looks like Charles there.
Charles has had about 5 carries, but they've been productive all 5 times. And that's going to be a 1st and 10 for Stockdale.
Stockdale's got plenty of time. They only need one score. Touchdown will win them the game. So they don't have to be in a hurry. They don't have to take a lot of chances here. But they do need to get good yardage on 1st down. I'm telling you that now.
Absolutely. And they come out in that pistol doubles formation, and they go back to that jet sweep. And they continue to get the edge for us.
And that's good yardage there. That's 8 yards on 1st down. That's what they need.
Amazing run by Arzabal, and he's been the go-to guy for the Mustangs offense tonight. And it's like you said, Coach, when you're getting 6, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards on 1st down, that's a recipe for success.
That's the key, though, on 1st down. That gives you 2nd down. That's the throwaways down. You can do whatever you want.
And they go right back to the jet sweep, and they get the edge again. And that's going to be another 1st down. And that time it's number 7, Ian Harrison on the carry. The sophomore listed as a quarterback and playing DB, but he looked like a fullback the way he finished that run.
Yeah. And we get 1st down again, so they need to keep it going. And to get in that end zone, they got to have, we need 5 or more. You're looking for 6. Give me a 2nd and 4, and we're good to go.
You know, one of the hardest things to do as a commentator is commentate right next to the coaching staff. But I'll tell you one thing, this coaching staff is doing a fantastic job for the Stockdale Mustangs. And they got their guys on the independent side of the football field with a 1st down. And now it's going to be a 2nd and 7 with 5:57 remaining to play. And they're doing a good job trying to manage the clock and possibly eat everything up and get into this end zone, because like we said, there's been 2 missed conversion opportunities by Independence. It's a 5-point game.
Yeah. Well, ideally you would like, if you're Stockdale, you'd like to score when there's 0 seconds left on the clock. Unlike the Cowboys last night.
Uh-oh. You might get some inboxes for that, man. And another amazing run. And they continue to get the edge time and time again. And there comes a point where, as a defensive coach, you got to call a timeout and have a conversation with your guys and just let them know, hey, we got to figure something out, because they're getting what they want on the offensive side of the football in the Falcons.
Well, what Stockdale can't have is a penalty right now. They got to talk to the guy, says, keep your hands in, hold your temper, do whatever you got to do. We do not need to go backwards at this point.
Because that's basically been the reason why they only have 7 points. They've moved the ball at will throughout the game. It's just been some
2 steps up,
unfortunate,
2 steps,
unfortunate mistakes at the wrong time.
They've got to do everything they can. Those wideouts got to keep their hands in when they're blocked. Same with the linemen.
Oh, and now they get some. Oh, and that's an amazing job finally setting the edge by that defensive end. And that was Evan Pickard. And I told you, this kid is tough. Well, that's the first time I've seen him make a play like that on defense.
Well, Pickard's a headsy player, too, because he saw what he was doing there. He was tackling the ball. He wanted that ball. He didn't care about the man.
And we talked about that.
He wants to create that strip. If he gets that ball, forces the fumble, Independence gets it, almost ball game over.
Absolutely. And, you know, our mentality as defensive players and former defensive players, the ball is mine every time it's on the ground. You just holding it for me until I get it back. And that's one of the reasons why I want to say I'm probably around number 2 or 3 all time on a couple of interception lists.
There we go. You don't need to.
Oh, and we got a flag, and that's going to be some holding or pass interference.
I think it's going to be against Independence.
I do too, Coach. And it was very well covered, too. You had 4 Independence receivers or defensive backs in the area. Yeah, but sometimes as young DBs, you get nervous and you start grabbing.
Well, I didn't see much there. Ball was kind of – he wasn't going to get the ball, but that's –
let's see what the call's going to be.
Well, finally Stockdale gets one going their way.
And that is the 15-yard variety, and that is the PI. And that you only can get that when you're taking shots. That's the first shot we've seen in a while.
Yeah, it is.
From the Mustangs.
And that wasn't really a shot. They're looking for some crossers, a guy to free up, a defender to leave that backside zone open. And if he would have just waited a bit, his receiver would have cleared those 2 defenders.
Yeah, that was a very dangerous throw. Nonetheless, 1st and 10. And Arzabal around the edge again, and they're getting 6 or 7 yards at will, Coach.
6-yard gain.
6 it is, and that's going to be 2nd and 4.
The key is they're getting it on 1st down.
Absolutely.
Getting it on 1st down. They're getting it early in the series. That way when they get 2nd, 3rd down, they don't have a mile to go. It's 2nd and 4, 2nd and 3, 3rd and 2.
Know what else they're doing, Coach? They chewing that clock up because they got the football with 7:20 on the clock. It's now at 3:30, and it's 2nd and 5, which means that they got more ground to gain and more clock to chop. But that inside zone read is smelt out very well by the backer.
Yeah, but those negative or 0 plays there for 0 yardage don't help. You got to get something.
All right. And this turned into – go ahead, Coach.
And the thing about it is field goal doesn't do them any good. They've got to score.
Absolutely. And what I was about to say is this turned into a pretty good game. It's just the penalties have stopped the flow to keep it from being a great game. But this is, you know, what you want from a competitor's perspective. Oh, a high snap and great catch. And he didn't have time to hand that ball off. It was just snapped too high.
He made a great play, Gallegos.
Whoa.
Just saving that play. It's going to bring up about a 4th and 1.
Wow, and if you're the Independence defense, this is what you ask for. One play and one opportunity to win the football game for your team if you can get the stop. 4th and short after the high snap. Stockdale has done a fantastic job running the football in the 4th quarter, getting everything they want outside and inside. So we'll see what happens as the decibel levels raise up at Independence High School. Pistol formation, double set. You got motion, and you got Valdivia, and you got a penalty. Wow.
Oh. Stockdale signaling it's against Independence, and it looks like it is against Independence. That gives them an automatic first down.
Wow. You got a penalty on Independence. Did someone jump? Apparently they did, and that's going to be encroachment. And, wow, it looks like they had it sniffed out. But nonetheless, that's going to be a 1st and goal
From the 8-yard line.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, again, we can't have, Stockdale can't go the other way with a penalty on them. So they've got to play smart ball here.
Right, and they go back to what's been working all night, and they finally get to the edge to contain that, and that's going to be a 3-yard loss.
Who was that? 14. Looked like 14 for Independence.
And that might be Brian Anaya, the junior DB and receiver.
It looks like 14. They're on the far side, so if you're the parents of the kid that actually tackled him, forgive us. But if you're Brian Anaya, then, hey, you did a good job.
Right, unless it was Jaden Brown. It might have been 24. I need glasses. I've already told you guys 3 weeks ago. Pistol formation, tight double set. And Stockdale looking to get outside. They have two open. Oh, and they're going to go then ahead and run it in. And Stockdale takes the lead. And that touchdown is going to be good. He had an option to throw it to a wide-open receiver, but he said, I'm not going to trust his hands. I want to take it in myself.
That's right.
In Stockdale.
We could have actually had a hold on an independent DB down here. Kind of held the receiver, but didn't matter. Gallegos took it himself for the 6.
Wow, amazing job by Gallegos. That was an amazing play call by the staff to our left. They ran the ball so well on that jet sweep and power to the right all night. They faked the play action and go with the play action and bootleg it back. And there was not one defender out here within 10 yards.
No, they
of
were all
Gallegos.
man coverage. Somebody had lost contain there for Independence. And he could have thrown it or run it.
And run it he did. Now Stockdale up with the 13-12 lead, 1:44 remaining to play. Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn. Coach, we end up with some good games every now and then, and this is turning into a great one.
There you go. Stockdale's going to go for 2. 1 point really doesn't do anything for them. It gives them a 2-point lead. They lose on a field goal. They get the 2-point conversion, puts them up by 3. That means the field goal can only tie them. Touchdown can beat them.
All right, so very interesting. Independence defense played a good football game tonight. Just unfortunate to get that penalty on 3rd and 5, or was it 3rd and 1?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That led to the first down and goal. Stockdale taking advantage, and now you got a 2-point conversion attempt.
So this has got to be a play we haven't seen yet, but no, we've seen this one.
Oh, and that's a dart, and that's going to be complete. Gallegos gets it in, and that's caught by Ian Harrison, the sophomore. And how about them apples?
Yeah, kind of the same play that they scored on. They were in the pistol. Fake the zone. Boot left. Got both receivers coming from the far side. So you got those guys crossing. And that was actually a nice catch.
That was an amazing catch because that was a BB. That was a laser. But how about the resiliency of Stockdale to methodically move the ball on the ground, in the air, had some crucial 3rd down conversions.
Well, the big thing was they didn't get any penalties.
Right.
Good things happen when you didn't get penalties.
You know, and just to be fair, let's remind the ladies and gentlemen, Stockdale had a week off. They've only played 1 game. They're still ironing out some of those kinks. Definitely a great drive and a character-building drive for the team with that last go-ahead touchdown.
And, of course, this game's not over, but this will drop. If things continue the way they are, this will drop Independence to 0-4.
Wow. Oh, and they go with the sky kick, and that's caught. He's heading in the wrong direction. It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line for Independence. And, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what LaDon Denmark can do. If you're looking for a drive to define your season and define your young career as a senior, this may be an opportunity to change the attitude of your teammates, of your campus, with this one drive, because 1-3 sounds a lot better than 0-4 to a
That's right.
campus and a team.
especially when you have Frontier coming in next week.
Absolutely.
Frontier's playing some good football right now.
Got my former linebacker, Chad Greider, over there calling shots on defense. Oh, and you got the wheel route. No, he throws a lop. He throws a rainbow when he probably should have thrown a dart.
Yeah.
And we talked about Denmark not being a natural passer. That's a situation where you had him open on a wheel route. If you throw it on a strike, you can actually hit him at the 40-yard line for a first down. But nonetheless, he tries to throw a bomb, and that almost went up to the Goodyear blimp. Nonetheless, it'll be 2nd and 10. Independence, 1:36 remaining to play. Stockdale holding on to a 3-point lead. 2-deep safety look, pistol doubles formation, or trips open formation for Independence. And now they go with the draw to Pickard, and that's a great call as he gets about 7 and gets out of bounds. Coach, you taught me the game, but you've worked with me as a broadcaster enough to know that I'm not a fan of people just throwing the ball nervously. You got to mix in some runs and passes, and that was a great example of that because you're going for it regardless.
Yeah, you need to get the first downs to keep your drive going.
Denmark drops back to pass, and it's pressure, and that's a huge sack by the defensive line of Stockdale.
Yeah.
And that looks like Gallegos may have got the sack. Oh, no, that's number 18, Roman Baker, with the sack.
Now, if you remember that play, the first time we had these guys against Ridgeview, they sent Pika right up the middle against that cover 2, and they hit him in the seam. He waited a little long. Pika came through the middle, kind of got banged around like a pinball, so threw off Denmark's timing. He had to take the sack.
Yeah, and I talked about how important it is for linebackers to get a jam. Never let color cross your face.
Yeah.
I could still hear Coach Harnett saying that 20 years ago, and you as well. Never let color cross your face without touching them.
Yeah.
And by doing that, you disrupt the route.
That's right.
3rd and 11, 1:09 to play. Kern High Network Football live from Independence High School. Kenny Calvin, Rick Van Horn, Dr. Julian Wilson. We got Fresno State. We got UNLV. We got OBU Arkansas representing in the booth tonight for this broadcast. You know, one thing we always talk about in these broadcasts is the honor to be part of the process, you know, as former players, as former coaches, and now working in the media aspect. You know, we want to thank everybody that makes things possible. Valley Strong Credit Union, Kern High Network, Kern High School District, Independence, and Stockdale administrations. Fantastic job tonight. But we got a trips open set, and Stockdale coming with some pressure. Oh, and he had a man, and he was thrown behind him, and that's going to be the game, ladies and gentlemen, as Stockdale prevails and gets the defensive stop with 1:03 remaining to play. Denmark had a man, but like we said, he hasn't been able to be accurate when he has a man.
Yeah.
Coach, what did you see on that?
Well, he kind of ran himself into coverage there and tried to get back, and there was really no place for Denmark to throw it but behind him.
Right.
Get there.
And we're putting the pressure on Denmark. That's actually a maturity mistake by the receiver, not knowing how to settle down because you're continuing to run to the sideline.
And you get that defender right in your line where the quarterback's line. Actually, the play there, because the free safety is way over to the trip side, you had a lot of room for one-on-one on that backside.
Wow, that will be it as Stockdale takes a knee. And how about that? The resiliency, it wasn't pretty, but they found a way to power through and get the win as Stockdale will be up 15-12. They'll snap it one more time. And ladies and gentlemen, Stockdale with the hard-fought victory. Good job, Coach. Great job, I'll say. You know, finding a way to win, great defensive battle, but ultimately overcoming the penalties. Coach, your last take.
Well, Stockdale moves to 2-0, and, of course, another rough one for Independence. You know, in the games we've seen, we've done 2 of their games, and they're not laying down. They're playing hard all the way through the whistle, through the final gun. So things, if they keep playing that way, good things will happen. So they're 0-4 right now, but they keep playing hard, things will change.
Absolutely, because they definitely had an opportunity to win this football game, and if anybody is thinking about telling Coach Shahabel he isn't a good coach, I might have to go and meet with them myself, because he's doing a fantastic job getting some underachievers to continue to compete. You talked about it all game, how well Stockdale played without passing the eye test,
right,
and just playing as a unit, and that was a reflection of the game as a whole.
Yeah, if you look at it, we probably saw maybe one or two. Peaker and Denmark Booker, the only guys that really can play at that next level, but you just never know.
Never know. Well, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Kern High Network football. Stockdale takes it 15-12 over Independence. It's been Kenny Calvin and Rick Van Horn with producer-director Dr. Julian Wilson for Kern High Network football. We want to thank the Kern High School District and the Kern High School Superintendents, as well as our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union for all they do. We'll see you next week.